Welcome back to another banger of a video. And in this video, I am going to do a tier list of the best states and territories to invest to in 2025. And before I do get into the video, I have a very special offer for the investors out there who are looking to get access to the private community, to get access to myself and to the other community members for a once-off offer. Now, with this offer, you will get 7 days free access to the private community, after which you have the normal $35 a month membership. And I am doing this once-off special offer to give investors an opportunity to try the community, try the resource, try to understand, learn, and give them direction in their journey, in their investment goals to help them achieve their outcomes. And in this 7-day trial, you will get a taste of what the community has to offer. So come in, share your thoughts, and you can only get access to the private community and to this special offer of 7 days free trial by watching this video and accessing the community through this special link that I have left in the description below. Now, please remember that this community has an extensive amount of resources, has an extensive amount of reviews, and members who are both educated, informed, and knowledgeable, ready to help you. So this is a once-off offer and it will not get better than this. So go try it out now, because this is a once-off trial. So I'm going to give you guys access and I hope you enjoy it. Let's get back into this video. Now, in this video, I want to break down every single state and territory and really rank it by, let's make some money. Is it primed for growth? If it's in a funny position, and forget about it. The states that I don't want to invest into. And I am going to go in this order of Queensland, Victoria, New South Wales, ACT, Tasmania, Western Australia, Northern Territory, and South Australia. And before anyone has their own opinions and judgments, this is my tier list. This is how I rank it. This is how I view it. And if you view it differently, then you can leave it down in the comments below. You can crucify me down there if you want to. Don't really care. But the way I invest is I search for value. And that's how I look at things. I don't follow the hype. I don't fall into FOMO. I don't make emotional decisions like most other investors do. I make decisions on facts, and based on value. That's how I do it. And if you agree with me and you see value in my ideas and my thoughts, jump in the private community and we can help you out as well. Now, the first one I wanted to talk about was Brisbane. Now, Brisbane and regional Queensland has been in a very interesting position. Over the past 3 years, we have seen significant price growth in these areas across regional Queensland, including Bundaberg, including Mackay, for example, as well as Cairns and Townsville. Townsville has been one of the record setters over the past 3 years in terms of price growth throughout Australia. We've gone from $300,000 homes at 8% yields to now you can't even secure a property under $600,000. That's how much price growth has happened. And normally I do not like to invest into locations that have had significant price growth over the past 3 to 5 years, just because I don't want to buy near the top of the market. But there are still good opportunities for short-term growth. For example, some locations in Cairns like Edmonton and Bentley Park still show very good promise in terms of price growth, where it's only grown about 36% over the past 3 years and about 10% over the past 12 months. But we can see that the trends are still very strong in terms of stock on market as well as days on market. So both demand is very high and stock is incredibly low, which means price growth happens. And as long as the trends remain in the right direction and this dynamic still remains, we will still see price growth into 2025. And this is very similar across the board in Cairns, in Townsville, in Mackay, and in Gladstone are just some of the locations that are still growing every single month. And that really just about covers regional Queensland. But Brisbane is also in a very funny position because a lot of locations have been growing since 2019, since COVID started in Brisbane, and have not stopped growing. Just to put some examples out there, when you look at Logan City in Queensland and you look at the price growth over the past 3 and 5 years, you can see it's still been growing since 2020. And then when you look at the metrics of days on market and stock on market, they are still very strong. The trends are in the right directions and the metrics are in the right threshold, which tells us that, we should still invest there if we're looking for short-term growth. And the same thing can be found and said about Ipswich City. When you look over the past 5 years, incredible growth, but the trends are still still very, very strong. And that could be due to an increased combination of strong interstate migration from New South Wales, as well as the Brisbane infrastructure boom due to the Olympics in 2032, even though that is still quite a time away. And it's still arguably affordable compared to Sydney and Melbourne, and there's higher rental demand due to coastal and regional towns. But these are just some of the reasons why Brisbane continues to grow, amongst others, and why some people may choose to consider investing into Brisbane in 2025. Now, once again, like I've always said in my other past videos, I don't like to invest into markets that have grown significantly over past 3 years, because it just exposes me to the top end of the market, which I don't like to do. I like to search for value, I like to search for opportunity, and I like to search for locations that haven't grown in a long time. But for those of you who are looking to make money in 2025, looking for short-term growth in 2025, then you would have to rank Queensland in let's make some money, because that's what's going to happen. If you do invest in there, you're most likely going to come out with some form of equity one way or another. But what about the next one? Victoria. Now, for all of you who've been watching my video, you know I have been a big fan of Victoria since about I started this YouTube channel, especially across Melbourne, across Victoria, including Bendigo, Geelong, Mildura, Shepparton. These are just some of the locations that I can name off the top of my head that have promise, that show promise. And Melbourne has really started to kick off. The locations in the southeast of Melbourne, including Carrum Downs, Frankston, Cranbourne, have already started to see some price movement in one way or another. Up in the north, I've been talking about this in a very long time. Broadmeadows, Meadow Heights, Dallas, Coolaroo have started to see an uplift in equity, an uplift in price, and some members have already made $40,000 to $50,000. And in the west side, you've got potential there like Sunshine West, St. Albans, Deer Park are all locations that you could consider investing into 2025. Now, of course, Melbourne is not like Queensland. And I'm just going to show you Carrum Downs as an example. When you look at the price growth after COVID, it went through a spike, yes, but then for the past 3 years, it's done about absolutely nothing. There has been no price growth in the past 3 years, and now we're starting to see the first signs of positive price movement. And this looks to be the beginning of another cycle into Melbourne. And this is coming across all suburbs across Melbourne under a certain price point. And it's not just Melbourne being undervalued, it's due to Melbourne's population growth being very strong. A lot of Melbourne's population is going into new parts of the city across the west, across the north. People are looking for better suburbs across the east side as well. And then we've also got the undervalued locations, like Ballarat, for example, where you can find properties under $450,000. You've got Bendigo, which is about an hour and a half or so away from Melbourne, which can get you about $500,000, $600,000, and you can secure a property in Bendigo. You've got Mildura and Shepparton equally under $500,000. At the time of recording anyway, prices are moving very fast. But these are just some reasons why I consider Melbourne as a very good location to invest into 2025. Super undervalued, affordable entry points, decent yields for the time being, and there's great value and potential and good affordability. Now, of course, I'm not going to shy away. There are cons. The cash flow is not good. You've got land tax, you've got higher stamp duty, you've got a government that is against landlords. These are known facts, but when there is value and opportunity, I think it's a great chance to get in the market now. And for that reason, I'm not going to put Victoria as let's make some money. I think Victoria is primed for growth, right? This is the time when you want to be in the market. You want to get in early before other investors get in, before the yields compress, and before you have the FOMO of what people are experiencing in regional Queensland. In a very similar token, I wanted to talk about New South Wales. Now, I'm not really worried too much about Sydney, but the locations I really want to talk about are locations like Albury-Wodonga in New South Wales, and regional New South Wales in specific have great opportunities under $500,000, under $600,000 to secure a property in a large regional location like Albury-Wodonga. We're already starting to see price activity there. Another location that we can consider is Dubbo. Dubbo has excellent opportunities under $550,000, under $600,000, where the price has not moved for the past 3 years, much like Victoria, much like Melbourne. And then you've also got the Newcastle region up over here, where locations like Maitland, Woodbury have promise. Where in Newcastle, the extraordinarily high prices are now flowing across into Maitland and Woodbury, and it's now starting to come across the data in H-tag as well. So there's good opportunities there for as an investor who has a higher price point, who can handle the cash flow a bit better, can consider here. So for all those reasons, in 2025, I'm going to put New South Wales or regional New South Wales, to be a bit more specific, in primed for growth. The next, we've got ACT. Now, ACT is not one that comes on to the data that much, to be quite honest, right? And generally speaking here, with Australian Capital Territory, you've got stable economy due to government jobs, higher than average incomes as well, and there's usually a consistent demand for housing. But they do have higher land tax and rates are generally higher. They have a much higher entry point and there's limited growth corridors compared to other states. And I don't find as much value to be in Canberra or in ACT at the moment compared to locations like Queensland, like New South Wales and Victoria. And for that reason, I'm going to put it in forget about it. I don't think right now, compared to the other locations that there are currently, I think Victoria, New South Wales and Queensland are much better from a capital investment standpoint than ACT. What about Tasmania? Tasmania is an interesting one. Now, I've made a couple of videos so far about Tasmania, one including Devonport, which has opportunities under $500,000, which gives you an idea of where value and affordability can be found. In a similar token, we have got Launceston as well, where there are select suburbs where community members are currently buying at this point in time. Now, they are very counter-cyclical investors. Please understand it is very early in its growth cycle. You can argue that we're just hitting the bottom of Tasmania's growth, or it's just a bottom out, and the prices have stopped dropping. But that doesn't mean prices are going to instantly increase over the next month or so or in 2025 at all. But for those who are looking for an opportunity that isn't in Victoria, or you already have properties in Victoria, or you just want to diversify into different locations, Tasmania is one of those opportunities which is very counter-cyclical. It's in a funny position alongside Hobart, alongside Launceston, alongside Devonport. They are in a funny position when it comes to investing there now, right? It saw massive growth in 2016 to 2021. They have decent rental markets, and the markets did peak back in 2021. When we look at Launceston City Council, for an example, we saw huge price growth back during COVID, and then in 2021 it peaked and it went through a bit of a small downturn, and now it's starting to bottom out. So as an investor, we can jump in there really early and look at the value and say, hey, there's been no price movement for a very long time, maybe we should consider investing here. But there has also been no indication that prices are starting to drive up, and that should just tell us to take our time a little bit, really look for the right opportunity to invest into Tasmania. And by the end of 2025, the markets may have changed and we might have started to see more indications that prices are going to grow in Tasmania. So at this point in time, I really want to just put it that it's in a funny position, right? It's bottoming out, but at the time of this recording, I can't say for sure if we're going to see much growth in 2025 onwards. And if you're enjoying this video, guys, make sure you join the private community. This is a once-time offer. I'm going to do a trial. I'm going to give you guys 7 days access to the private community, after which you will be charged. But until then, you can come in, you can try the community, you can talk to members, and this link to this 7-day trial will only on this video. So jump in, try it out, and if it's a huge success, and I guarantee you, you will not regret it. All right, let's talk about Western Australia, a good one. Now, Western Australia is a very interesting one. Now, alongside regional Queensland, you've got the locations like Albany, and you've also got locations like Geraldton, small regional towns, which are still showing good price growth for the end of 2025. And while these markets are still showing very good promise and very good return over the next 6 to 12 months or so, Perth is in an interesting position where there has been an immense amount of price growth over the past 3 to 5 years, which should make us a little bit concerned about investing in there at this point in time. And this comes back down to my point of where is value to be found? Is there value in the Perth market, or is there value in the Victoria market, or is there value in the New South Wales market? Me personally, when I look at the data across the locations, I find value in Melbourne. I find value in Victoria. Now, that is not to say that Perth is going to have a bad 2025. The market indicators, supply and demand, are still very strong for Perth. There's good opportunities for townhouses in this area. There's good opportunities to even look at units as a potential opportunity. Now, very specific type of units, but units nonetheless. So there are opportunities in Perth which you can still consider if you are after some good short-term equity. Now, please do your due diligence. Some people are selling in some areas, I know this for a fact, and some people are still looking to buy in those areas. So it's in a very funny position. It's not a location that I generally would look into to invest into because of all the price growth, much like regional Queensland. But for those investors who are after short-term growth, who don't want to invest in Victoria, for example, who don't like the government there, might want to look at Perth as an option. And so for those reasons, I'm going to put this in a funny position. All right, what's the next one? Northern Territory. All right, I think I've butchered Northern Territory territory amongst my videos for the better part of all the videos I've done so far, and I'm not going to rehash it. Go check out those videos. But to quickly tell you what you should be looking at, Northern Territory is an investor-led boom, much like some other locations as well, but this is purely investor-led boom. I mean, big BAs have bought up everything. There's not much stock to be found at all in Darwin of anything of good substantial value. Prices have grown an insane amount in the past 12 months alone, about 20% growth. And this market is a market that if you do want to make money, you probably want to be in there right now and not later, because prices are rising, the yields are very high, there is good opportunities to buy properties in Northern Territory for you as an investor, but please understand this market is very risky. So go check out my other videos about Northern Territory because there is definitely some risk to it. But if you want to make money, you want to look at NT. So I've put it up to there to let's make some money. And last but not least is South Australia. Now, South Australia follows the same lines of, hey, huge boom during the COVID period. A lot of these locations have doubled and tripled in value, especially across Elizabeth Downs, Davern Park, Andrews Farm, Salisbury. Huge price growth. Huge, massive price growth. It's not a location I'm looking at the point in time. It really doesn't come across the data. I know some locations like Whyalla come up on the data, for example, or Port Pierre South come up there, for example. Now, these are very small regional economies, and also Mount Gambier is another one that I hear all the time from investors and buyers agents. However, these markets, they haven't been sitting quietly while Adelaide boomed. They were also growing. And so when it really comes to value, I look at other markets. I look at Tasmania, I look at Victoria, I look at New South Wales as markets that have opportunity, affordability, and value for the time being. And for that reason, I'm going to really say South Australia sits in forget about it. Because when I rank it, this is how I look at it. I'm going to run you through it. If you want to make some quick money, Queensland, Northern Territory. If you want to make some good money and looking for value, opportunity, and affordability, Victoria and New South Wales have that for you. It's in a funny position and it's too early to call. Western Australia, you still can make some money, but only in select suburbs and select type of properties and select type of regional locations. And in Tasmania, the markets, I believe, are just about bottoming out and we have to reassess our position later into 2025. Some members, I'm not going to hide away from it, are buying there at this point in time, but they have a very specific strategy. They are counter-cyclical investors and they are happy to wait for the growth. And the markets that I just wouldn't consider would be ACT and South Australia. And so if you agree with me, leave it down in the comments below. If you disagree with me, please crucify me. I don't mind. I am happy for people to disagree with me. Disagreement is good. We need to have a good, honest conversation about different locations and where they sit on the market. This is just how I view it. And if you want to disagree with me or agree with me, do it in the private community. Remember, like I said, it's a once-off trial. You'll get 7 days access to the private community, after which you will be charged. So jump in, try it out. You will find value, and I guarantee you will enjoy being part of it in a proper investor community. And if you don't like it, you can leave. I'm not holding you hostage. So come in, try it out. You will find value. Till next time, thank you.